would protect DACA beneficiaries from being deported. Now, trying to cut a deal is reasonable, but amnesty should only be given in return for real and long-term immigration reforms. Otherwise, will amount to yet another betrayal, the kind that voters have seen many times over the past 30 years, the kind that got Donald Trump elected in the first place, actually. America deserves real borders and policies that put American interests first, instead of an endless cycle of amnesty coupled with empty promises of future border enforcement at some point, and that's what we've had for a long time. United behind stricter immigration laws should not be a heavy lift for the Republican Party. For one thing, Americans want it. They want it badly. We know that because a new poll by Numbers USA asked likely voters how they felt about various aspects of our immigration policy. And the answers sounded a lot like a Trump campaign speech. Consider chain migration. 57% of likely voters said that if DACA beneficiaries get amnesty, they shouldn't be allowed to bring their family members here. Just 31% of voters disagreed with that. How about the diversity lottery? That's the program that selects 50,000 people every year to enter the United States, gives them visas. They're selected pretty much at random without regard to any qualifications, including English knowledge or job skills or cultural fit. 60% of voters said the diversity visa lottery ought to be abolished entirely. Only 29% supported it. And then there's E-Verify. That's the program that allows employers to check the legal status of people they're going to hire. 57% of likely voters say Congress should require E-Verify for all hiring so that employers can't claim ignorance when they hire illegals. Just 23% disagreed with that. And voters aren't just opposed to illegal immigration, by the way. A strong majority wants to cut all immigration, including legal, across the board. Currently, this country admits about 1 million legal immigrants a year. 60% of those asked said they'd like to cut that number in half. Other issues, all kinds of other issues. Restricting immigration is a lot more popular, for example, than defunding Planned Parenthood or cutting taxes for the wealthier, cracking down on marijuana, bombing distant countries, more popular than all of that. It's also, of course, the main thing that President Trump ran on last year, and probably the central reason he won in that upset victory. This should not be hard. Just a month ago, the Republicans united to pass an unpopular tax reform bill. They should be able to come together to pass a far more popular form of immigration reform. Yet somehow, that's not happening. In fact, the opposite is happening. Apparently, a number of Republican senators are prepared to cave completely to Democrats on this question, agreeing to amnesty with no serious concessions in return. One proposal would simply delay chain migration rather than ending it, while expanding the scope of the amnesty for DACA recipients and reallocating diversity lottery visas to a different class of unskilled immigrants. Not only would a deal like that hurt the country, voters have said very clearly again and again they don't want it. And this is a democracy after all, or at least it was. You have to listen to what voters want if you're a lawmaker. If you see that kind of deal come out of Congress, and you may, the Republican Party is done. It's over. It's toast. It'll be a short epitaph, too. Suicide. Congressman Sean Duffy is a Republican representing Wisconsin, and he joins us tonight. Congressman, thank you for coming on. So,
hey, Tucker, it's good to be with you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So these poll numbers are really striking to me because they show that the public is tougher on immigration, including legal immigration, even maybe than the current president was during the campaign. And I'm wondering if this news is filtered down to Republicans in the Congress who seem way more liberal on immigration than their voters.
Oh, listen, Tucker, I don't know that the Congress is actually that liberal. At least the Republicans aren't that liberal in Congress. Now, we do have some outliers that wouldn't mind having a DACA amnesty fix without any border security or any fix to chain migration. That's true. But a vast majority of Republicans in the Congress, we stand with President Trump. We want to fix the situation we have with the DACA kids. We think that's reasonable and fair. But in exchange for that, we want to secure a border. We want to build a wall. We want to fix chain migration. We want to fix the lottery system. So, and I got to tell you what, if Democrats don't start to negotiate negotiate fairly on this issue, there will be no deal for the DACA kids. So listen, I get your concern, but I got to tell you what, I sit inside our Republican conferences, and there's a great unity around this issue of fixing the root cause of the problem that continues to bring new people in who, Tucker, they just pack their bags and they decide to come into our country on their own, where we believe that Americans have a right to pick and choose who comes into our country. We want the people that graduate from MIT and Harvard that love America, or even the people that'll come and work up on our Wisconsin dairy farms, where those are jobs that our own people won't take. We need those kind of people who love to work and love our country, but we get to pick and choose them. You just don't get to pack a bag and come across the border and say you're going to be an American and get amnesty.
I mean, pardon my skepticism. So the president runs this campaign that's different from the 17 other campaigns Republicans are running, really in one respect. He's tough on immigration. He says he wants to build a wall. We're a year in. Republicans have unified to pass an unpopular tax bill. They tried to get health care through. They've done all manner of things. They haven't actually gotten together to do that, the one thing he ran on. Why is that?
So listen, I hate to get in the weeds with you, but you know that we could pass a funding bill for the wall in the House. But we can't pass that kind of bill in the Senate. Though Republicans control the Senate, they have this thing called the filibuster rule. You need 60 votes, which means 9 Democrats have to vote for that funding. That becomes very challenging for us. So I would love if Republicans could ram through a funding bill for the wall, but that's just not the reality of politics in the Senate. So